Today, I wanted to talk about my birth story with Drifter because I feel like I tried to look up some birth stories on YouTube and I couldn't find anyone that I related to. Well, sort of, kind of. But this is for all my friends who are getting ready to have babies, or people that I know that are pregnant right now and they're scared, because I was there too. I was extremely mortified and scared about everything. So I just wanted to talk about my story and how it played out and how my labor went and everything like that. Drifter's right here on the floor. He is playing with his kick and play piano, so he's having a good time. So if you hear it, that's him. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing that's occupying him at this moment, because 4 months has just been crazy for us because he's been very, very fussy. But let's get going. So he was born August 26th, 2016, and my due date was supposed to be September 1st, but they told me that he was measuring kind of big, so I was induced. And yeah, so I was induced at 39 weeks. Come to find out, he was only 7 pounds and 4 ounces, and I want to say he was 21 inches long. I don't really remember. Remy, stop. Go play. Go play. Go play. Go lay down. Good girl. No, not in the no, away from the baby. Okay, sorry. Dogs. Anyway, but I can't remember that, and it's only because I had the epidural going on, and when you have an epidural, you kind of forget some things. I remember people coming to visit me, but I don't remember what we talked about or anything like that. So that's what that is. But yeah, speaking of epidural, I did have an epidural. I just remember that when they took me in, where I was induced. Well, first off, let me just say this. They put a Foley bulb in my cervix to help dilate it, because I was measuring, I think 1.5. I was dilated to 1 or 1.5 before they put it in. They put it in on the day of my induction. So John and I went to the doctor's office. They put it in. I'll tell you that it's not comfortable at all, and they will tell you that. And it's a normal thing. That's what they do to help dilate you. It's not fun. Oh my gosh. It's not comfortable at all, and it don't feel good. But anyway, so they put that in, and then they said, okay, when you leave here, go get something to eat. Eat pretty well, and then go straight to the hospital and check yourself in. So be ready. So I was like, okay. After we left there, I could not walk properly. It was crazy. It was kind of funny, actually, but it was very uncomfortable. So probably 10 minutes after they put it in, it was so painful. I could feel the pressure down there. I know, Bubby. Yeah, I know. I could feel the pressure down there. I could feel contractions starting, and I hadn't felt any contractions since. I mean, every now and then I thought I might have got a Braxton Hicks contraction, but this was way worse. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. So I was like, okay, but I want to eat. I want to eat, and we plan to eat at Fat Patty's. If y'all know about Fat Patty's, it's pretty dang good. So, and I get the same thing every time. I get a junior cheeseburger with mustard only with french fries. And my mom and dad were going to meet us there, so we were going to have a last lunch before going into the hospital. This is bad of me. I don't remember what time we went to the hospital. Well, we went to the hospital on a Thursday. So, yeah, I was induced on Friday, the 26th. So, this was the 25th, and we went there to Fat Patty's, and I was just we were waiting on my parents to get there, and I was just I can't do this. I can't sit here because all the pain, it hurts so bad. And I'm a wimp. Yes, I have tattoos. Yes, I've had my nose pierced, my belly button pierced, things like that. But this was nowhere near any of those types of pain. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stand it. So, and I was wearing a maxi dress. No. It was kind of like a maxi skirt, but it looked like it was bunched up on the side, if you know what I mean. And I told him, I was like, you're going to have to tape this because it was like, there wasn't a slit in it, but it was like shorter on one side, so you could kind of see where it was like, it's kind of like a catheter in you, but not in your urethra, but in your, you know. Oh, yes, bud. Yeah, I know, Punky. And you could see the rest of it hanging out, so I was like, you guys have to tape that because you'll see it. So they taped it with paper medical tape, and it still wasn't, you could still see it. So I was just like, crap. But at this point, you do not care. When you're in pain, let me tell you this, when you're in pain, you do not care about anything else, about what you look like. No, you just don't care. And you try to be nice to others, but it's very difficult because you want everything to go smoothly in your way because you're hurting and you just want to get it over with. So you tend to get kind of snippy. But because I thought, I'm not going to be like those women. I watched tons of videos on YouTube. I've watched movies and things like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to scream. And yet, that's for a different part. We'll get there. But anyway, Penny, no. Don't go that way. Penny, no. So, Penny, don't sit. No, sit. Sit. Sit down. Dogs and a baby. Being home all alone. Gets a little crazy sometimes. Alright, anyways. So, I couldn't wait till my parents till they got there. So, I was like, we have to go. So, Mom and Dad finally got there. And I said, listen, you guys, I can't sit here and eat. But I was so hungry. And Mom and Dad was like, well, we'll just go ahead and finish. And John said, go ahead and pay for it. And I said, John, we got to go to the hospital. He rushed me straight to the hospital. And I worked there at the time in the ER. But we went up to the main entrance because we were going to labor and delivery. We knew exactly where we went. We took a childbirthing class, which was amazing and very, very helpful. And I love the labor and maternity department. They were the nicest ever. They were so sweet, so nice to me, very understanding, which they have to be understanding because, you know, this is normal to them. They go through this every day. They deliver babies every day and have to deal with different kinds of mamas. And I was a pretty good one. Like, I was really nice. I was very nice to them because also, I mean, they're doing their job. They're doing everything you can. And you know you're in pain, but it still sucks. But, yeah, so John rushed me there. I've never seen him move as fast as he did. And I got out of the car. And at this point, like, I couldn't walk very well. Like, I had to walk with my legs apart. I mean, I already waddled anyway, so this was bad. So, the security guard got me a wheelchair. So, John got all the stuff that we had packed. I packed my hospital bag. I had that ready, like, a week in advance, you know. So, I had everything. We all had everything packed in the car, ready to go. Because we knew I was being induced. So, we get up there, and John was just, I've never seen him so, I don't know, like crazy running around and everything, but he was very, very helpful and very good. He's such a great guy, such a great husband. But, yeah, I want you to kick it. Can you hear him? Ooh, my little dove. My little dove. Yeah. You're being a good boy. Anyway, so we get up to the top, or to the, I can't remember what floor it was now, but the labor and delivery, and where I had mine at St. Mary's, the labor and delivery, everything that happens to you is in one room. You're in one room the entire time. I heard, like, if you go to Cabell, like, they take you to a triage area, and then you have your delivery room. They wheel you there. They wheel you to, you're just in, like, 3 different rooms, and I just, no. And plus, I worked at St. Mary's, so my insurance, everything was there. I'm familiar with the hospital, and I was born there also, so that's where we decided to have Drifter. Anyway, so we get upstairs to sign me in, and I'm like, yeah, I already did my registration, my pre-registration. I did everything. Hey, baby. He's not going to let me finish this. Which I've been trying to do this for probably I mean, he's 4 months now, so I've been trying to do it before then, like after he was born, because I knew everything would be fresh and I can remember everything, but now I can't, so you just get what you get. He's not going to let me finish. So sign everything in. They take me to my room. They hook me up to a monitor, and also they hooked the baby up to the monitor, and they started my IV, which if you can get your IV in your hand or your wrist, that's where they prefer it, because when you're in labor and you're bending your arm and stuff and you're grabbing the rail, it gets that's where they put mine. They put mine right there. And let me just say that you don't want it there, because first they tried 2 different places. They blew a vein on my hand, and as you can see, I have pretty big veins, but they might have rolled, I don't know. But she tried, and as a phlebotomist, I understand when you miss it. I understand when it rolls. I get it. So I wasn't mad. The pain in my belly was probably the worst pain, so getting an IV was nothing. And so yeah, so she got it in the bend of my elbow, and she you don't want it there, because when you're grabbing the railing and everything, it hurts and it gets in the way. And then your IV pump, no Penny, your IV pump goes off every 5 seconds, and then they say, well, you got to keep your arm straight, and you're like, it's hard to do that, especially when you're in labor. Or, well, I mean, I wasn't in labor yet. I might have been. No, I wasn't in labor yet, but it was the day before I was being induced, so I could feel like I knew all this stuff that was going to happen, but like to turn over and get comfortable, you couldn't do that, especially when it was in the bend of my arm. So try not to get it there. And they kept telling me we might have to move it. And at this point, I was like, I don't want to move it because it's already there. I don't want to get stuck again. But it's probably best if you would get it moved, because that IV pump will go off over and over and you can't sleep. And they have to keep coming in and checking on you. Luckily, I was the only person at the time in labor. So they catered to me very well. What, Punky? You okay? So yeah, that worked out really, really well. So I was very, very happy about that. They were very, very nice to me. But the night before, like, Mom and Dad came and I finished my fat patties, and it was so good. So, oh, you kicked it. You kicked it, bud. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't sleep very well that night, because obviously, like, I knew everything was going on. I still had that Foley bulb in me. It hurt. It was uncomfortable. But they gave me something. It was kind of like a form of pain medicine. I can't remember what it was called. But it just helped with the pain. But it wasn't, no epidural yet, because they were like, oh, you won't need that, not anytime soon. So I was like, no, Remy. So I was like, oh, okay, I got this. You know, this isn't so bad. Well, the next day, where did it go? Okay, so the next day, I think it was 9 in the morning, because like I said, I didn't sleep very well the night before, so I woke up a bunch of times. The next day, they started my Pitocin around 8-ish or 9-ish, so I was in labor. And then finally, I was dilated enough to 5 that they could take the Foley bulb out. And they did not. Now, the Foley bulb is like, it's a tube that goes in you, and they squirt saline, and then it expands like a catheter. So they, anyways, instead of you can pull the saline out, and it deflates again. But they didn't do that. The bulb's probably this big, and they just pull it out. Pull it out of your, So that was very uncomfortable, and it hurt pretty bad, because they come in and check you a bunch of times. And when they check you, they stick their fingers up there and feel around. But I mean, that's what they got to do. And that's what, if you want to have a baby, that's what's going to happen. So you're getting poked and prodded at a lot. But it's worth it. And you hear that over and over again. It's so worth it. It's worth it. It really is. It really, really is. But, yeah. So they pulled that out, and it was very uncomfortable. That was probably the worst part so far, is when they pulled it out. And then the contractions started because they started the Pitocin. That was the most horrible pain I have felt in my entire life. Let me just tell you, it is not fun. Whoever does it naturally, kudos to you. I don't know how you do it. I have no idea how you do it because it sucks and it hurts. It hurts so bad. I don't even understand. Like, it hurts really bad. So, I'm grabbing onto the rail. John's, like, fanning me because it's super hot. I feel nauseous. And that's common for moms to feel nauseous. But I never threw up. But that was a possibility. I felt like it. And you can't drink anything. They put a catheter in me. So, oh, no, wait. Time out. Not yet. They didn't do that yet. But you couldn't have anything to drink. All you could have was ice chips. After midnight, all I could have was ice chips. And let me tell you what, I sucked those piece of ice chips like till they dissolved in like a second because I was so thirsty. You get extremely thirsty. And so yeah, so I was grabbing on to the rail. John was fanning me, rubbing my back, and I was just like, and John's sister was there, my sister-in-law, Kim. She was amazing. She's been through this twice, one epidural and one natural, and so she understands both sides of it. So she was rubbing my feet because, oh my gosh, it felt so good, and John was fanning me. Well, I would get mad, and I'd be like, John, just go away, because I didn't know what I wanted at this point. My mind was just all over the place. I did not know what I wanted. I didn't know what felt good, what felt comfortable. Nothing was helping. So at this point, I was kind of snippy, and I said, John, you just go find the anesthesiologist because we were waiting. And I knew if I waited too long, the epidural wouldn't come when I needed it. So when they offer the epidural, when they offer it, take it. Take it. Don't be like, oh, well, I'll be all right. No, because the anesthesiologist has other patients he has to handle or take care of and go to first before you. So when they say, oh, it's not just anesthesiologist for that department. No, he's the anesthesiologist over the whole hospital. So he has to, they put an order in, and then whenever he gets a chance, then he comes and helps you. So when they tell you to get it, get it. Because I was like, oh, I'm fine right now. And they're like, oh, you'll be okay, but you're going to need it soon. So I was like, okay, whenever I'm able to get it, I want it. And that's what happened. But he still had some patients before me, so I had to wait. So at this point, I was like freaking out because I was crying. I almost gave up. I was almost like, I'll just do the C-section. But I specifically said I do not want a C-section. I do not want a C-section ever. I want to have this naturally. I want to do it the right way. Not the right way. I take that back. I'm sorry. I want to do it the way I want it. I want it to come out that way because that's my birth plan. And I was just scared to have a C-section, more or less. That's what it was. So that's why. But if the baby wasn't safe and they had to get him out right then and there, then yeah, absolutely. You know, I just didn't want that. That was my birth plan. So I yelled at John. I said, go find the anesthesiologist now. Like, go find him now. And he said, okay. Of course, knowing, like, he didn't know. He just walked out of the room thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he got on the elevator. And as he was walking in the elevator, the anesthesiologist was walking out. So they talked in the hallway. They met. And I don't know if y'all know, but my husband, he's not a huge guy, but he's a decent-sized guy. And he's very, very funny and very humorous. So he tries to make a situation the best by making things funny. So I'm in there in pain, and then he walks in with the anesthesiologist. Little did I know they were outside talking. They had like a little conversation. And he walks in, and my husband said, yeah, I found this guy on the elevator. He says he can help. I don't remember exactly what he said because I was too much in pain. And then after it all happens, you don't really remember a lot. So I was like, oh my God. And he said, yeah, I told him to get in here and blah, blah. I said, oh, great. Now you're going to piss everybody off. But it was a joke because they already talked about it while they were out there, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, and this guy, he was a big dude, like a huge dude. So at this point, I'm just like, whatever, get in here. And my husband called him Mr. McDreamy because, let's face it, the guy was a pretty attractive guy. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm not looking at nobody else. I'm here to have this baby. So he gets in there and they make everybody leave the room. My mom and dad was in there also. My mom and dad and Kim, John's sister, and John. That's who I had in the room with me at the time. During birth, it was me, well, obviously, my mom, Kim, and John. So at this point, everyone leaves and he does the epidural. Let me just tell you, it does not hurt. When you're in that much pain and having so many contractions, it does not hurt. You'll be fine. You'll be extremely fine. Unless they have to do it a couple times, which I don't know because they only did mine once. And I grabbed my nurse and I think I accidentally grabbed her butt. I did not mean to, but I was just trying to grab onto something and try not to move because they tell you can't move. So I grabbed on her and I was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, it's okay. So let me tell you, they go through this a lot. All the nurses, they go through things. They've seen everything. They've been there. They've done it. They understand. So as I was grabbing her, he was like, just take a deep breath in, hold it, and then breathe out. It was done. And I was like, oh, okay. That was not a big deal at all. So that happened, and then it was great. It was not bad at all, and I didn't mind it, and I would do it again. No, I wouldn't have a baby again, but if I had to do it all over again with the same baby with Drifter, I'd do it all over again. But anyway, so that worked out well. Everyone came back in, and it literally was like from night to day. I was super nice. I was like, John, will you have my makeup? And he was like, makeup? Why do you want to put on makeup for? And I was like, I'm really good for birth. Because I just touched it up. I didn't put more. I mean, I put more on, but I didn't like, or did I? I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, so he was like, who are you? Because I was a completely different person. And from then on out, I was okay. Oh, baby, it's okay. It's okay. Looky. Yeah, grab it. So, yeah, that happened, and then I was good to go. Didn't feel any contractions after that, except for when it was getting closer to time, because they were like, okay, you are dilated, you're about ready to go. And I was like, they give you a button to push for the epidural. I pushed it a couple times, and then it wasn't, I guess it was all out, or there wasn't any left. I don't know. But they had to call him back in there, and I was like, before I have this baby, I want more. I need more. And they were like, oh, we'll get him and everything. So, Remy, stop. So, they went and got him. He put some more stuff through my IV, and I was good to go. Childbirth, not a big deal. I mean, it was weird because they're like, okay, we're going to have this baby. John starts crying. And I started getting emotional because he was like, it's happening. Like, this is it. We're about to have a baby. Like, this is the moment we've been waiting for. And if you've seen my other video on Facebook, which I haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet, but it's a pretty long video, and it's after Drifter's born. So, it's pretty emotional. So, if you want to check that out, you can. So, they just, like, move everything out of the way in the room and start bringing up these other tables in with all this, with all these medical tools and stuff, and it's just crazy because they just start moving stuff. It's like my husband said, it's like an SNL skit where they're done with the skit and they start moving things around on the stage to get it something else, get the next skit ready. But it was, yeah, but it was pretty crazy. So they started doing that, and they're like, all right, let's go, let's do this. All right, so I'm drugged up, you know, from the epidural. So I'm feeling great. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get this baby out. And John's up here by my head. My mom is holding my right leg. And Kim's taking pictures and videoing. And then I have a nurse on this leg, on my left leg. And Remy, no. You really know. And they're like, okay, so when it's time to push, you hold your legs back. You know, hold them up to your chest, put your chin down to your chest, and just push. So that's what I did. I pushed for probably 45 minutes, and my mom switched sides with John. So mom was up here, and John was holding my leg because he wanted to see more. Oh, poor guy. He's seen everything. But now he knows how everything happens. And he cried, I cried. But I remember one time he said, because childbirth, it didn't hurt. It was just pressure. Like they tell you it's just going to be pressure. And it is. It's just pressure. But like where you have the epidural, you don't feel pain, I guess. I mean, everything's numb from the waist down, but you don't feel pain, but you do feel pressure. So if you think you're going to be completely numb, you're not. And so, and I didn't have any problems with my epidural. It worked just fine, except for that one time where they gave me extra, and I was good to go. But I remember at one point when our midwife, Heather, she's awesome, by the way, guys. I remember at one point, she was like, she told me to push and then rest. And John said, oh my gosh, there he is. And then she was just playing with his hair, he said, because he had a lot of hair and I had a lot of heartburn. So she was just twirling his hair. And then, like, when she told me to relax, he'd go back in. And my husband was like, oh my God, why is he going back in? Why isn't he out? Well, he wasn't, like, ready to come all the way out yet. Like, I still had to push a couple more times. But I finally pushed, and it feels like when you get him out. Like, it feels so great. You're just like, you know. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. It was good. You just feel very, like a big weight was lifted off your shoulders, which it's out of your belly. And your belly doesn't go completely flat after. It's still kind of puffy looking. But once he's out, you're just like, oh my gosh, I did it. I did it. I've gone through this. God was with me. He watched over me. Drifter was safe. He was healthy. My only problem was I had a hematoma while I was pushing. If you don't know what that is, it's a blood bubble, I guess. And they had to, she tried to push it back in, and it was out. So it was down there. They had to lance it and then drain it, stitch it back up. And I didn't tear to a second degree completely, but no rim. I didn't tear to almost a second degree, but plus I had stitches. I had stitches from that, and I had stitches from the hematoma. And so let's just say I had a long while to heal. That journey was awful. But yeah, so it all worked out fine. Drifter was amazing, and I couldn't be happier. I'm extremely happy that everything turned out fine. My baby was perfect. Our baby was perfect. And John was amazing. He was great. I couldn't ask for a better, labor and delivery. And so I guess I'll end that there since he's getting kind of fussy. But I will make another video from the post birth, because that one's a little more in depth, I guess. There's a lot of things that they didn't tell me what could happen, and it did, so I had to go through that. I tried to look for symptoms on the internet, and like I said, everyone's different. So yeah, okay. Oh, there's Remy. Okay, so I want to end this here. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this kind of helped anybody, and also if you just want a good story time, there you go. But thank you for watching, and I'm gonna get Drifter up. So